Hello YouTube, my name is Legend of DS and welcome to the Nintendo Financial Report video thingy. Yeah, let's call it news. The financial reports from Nintendo for the second quarter of financial year of 2017 or 2018 came out, and the results are good. So first things first, let's start off with the hardware sales. Overall, the Nintendo Switch is now, as of September 30th, has shipped 7.63 million units, doing phenomenally well, and the software overall has sold 27.48 million. Great sales in this overall. Then the 3DS has sold 68.98 or shipped 68.98 million, very close to that 70 million mark, and in software terms that sold 343 million. Very good sales for both systems, very much improving. The Switch is doing tremendously well. It's about half of what the Wii U did overall, and it's, according to Nintendo, should be able to beat the Wii U by March next year. Then obviously we have the Wii U doing just overall 13 million, which numbers are not bad. 13 million would not be bad if the console had launched a year ago or 2 years ago, but no, it's been a rough ride for the Wii U. But Nintendo also increased, before the forecast for the Nintendo Switch was to reach the 10 million mark between April 1st, 2017 and March 31st, 2018. Now the mark has been raised to 14 million, which to me it's funny because of so many people that were like, it's not going to do the 10 million. And when Kimishima said, I don't know if we can reach the 10 million, people were like, see, even Nintendo knows. And now it's raised to 14 million. And if it does reach the 14 million by the end of March 31st, and that those 14 million shipped, the Switch will then be at 16.7 million units sold in its first overall year, which is pretty insane. And if it does that, the Nintendo Switch would have beaten overall the overall sales of the Wii U in just 13 months, about that. And it would be very close to surpassing. It would be 15 million, or not 15, 6 million, about 5 million away actually from beating the GameCube, and about 16 million from beating the N64, which did 21 million and 32 million respectively. Now moving on to the hardware sales, the software sales, let's start off with the 3DS. Going from the bottom, the 20th position, there's not been much change since the last time Nintendo reported its results. Luigi Mansion 2 is last place, let's put it that way, selling 5.45 million. Then Tomodachi Life selling 5.93 million, so very close to the 6 million mark. Then Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS selling 8.91 million. Then we have Animal Crossing New Leaf having 11.23 million. New Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario 3D Land 11.40 million. Super Mario Brothers 2 at 11.73. Then Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, which obviously the rest of it's basically just Pokemon. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire at 13.85 million. Then 15.91 to Sun and Moon, which should reach the 16 million mark, very close, and probably able to surpass X and Y in the upcoming year. Maybe when we get the next financial reports, they'll be very close to each other. Then Super Mario Kart 7 at 15.95 million, very close again, another very close to the 16 million. And then the best-selling 3DS game as of right now, it's Pokemon X and Pokemon Y at 16.20 million, which is great numbers overall. Then on the Nintendo Switch, again, for the Nintendo Switch, we don't have numbers for Mario & Rabbids and Fire Emblem Warriors, because those games, although are using Nintendo IPs, are made by third parties and count as third-party games. So these are the million sellers for Nintendo's first-party titles, which basically it's all the first-party titles that Nintendo has launched. at the bottom, almost closing in on one to Switch is ARMS, which did 1.3 million. Kind of disappointed in those numbers. It did basically 0.16 million, about that. Since the last time we saw it, it was at 1.18. I believe it's 0.17. But it's very close. It's zero point 0.2 away, or 0.02 million away from, or 20,000 units basically, away from one to Switch that sold 1.37 million. Then we have the top 3 games that are absolutely bonkers that they have done this much already. Splatoon 2 has done 3.61 million, which is about, it's about a million away from the original, and the original sold over a period of an entire year, 2 years to reach that number, and Splatoon 2 has almost destroyed that number already. Then we have Mario Kart 8 at 4.42 million. For comparison's sake, the Wii U version of the game did 8.38 million. So, very, very high numbers for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And finally, the best-selling Switch game is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild at 4.7 million, very close to the 5 million mark. It should reach the 5 million mark, or over 5 million, probably around the end of the year. So yeah, that's basically the overall result in terms of hardware and software. Obviously, there's much more financial stuff that Nintendo has given out, how much operating income they've made and how much profit they have made overall. But I don't know what those mean and how to translate those. Wow, I'm a bit snuffy right now. But still, overall, other news that came out from this was again, the Switch forecast being increased by 4 million from 10 to 14. People, and I am inclined to agree with them, are believing that this will be just it's lowballing it because we have the holiday season coming out. Sure, it did 5 million in the period of time between in this year in this financial year, but that doesn't mean it won't. That's without a holiday season, and with the holiday season coming up, it does seem weird that it's gonna not double it. It's gonna almost double it, but not exactly double it when the holiday season is such a huge thing, especially with Mario Odyssey coming out in October, which, let's see how it does. People, it came out today that it was the best-selling game in the UK. The second time this happened this year, a Nintendo game topping the charts in the UK. Not only that, we have it's in a much different and much more difficult time of the year with FIFA and Assassin's Creed launching. Assassin's Creed launching on the same day, alongside Wolfenstein, and then FIFA, which is just a beast in the UK. Another thing that was announced was that Nintendo, Kimishima said, apparently there's going to be more ways to have fun with the Switch, which some people have taken it to mean VR. To me, it just seems like Netflix and all YouTube, the WWE Network, are all, and other streaming apps are all coming to the Switch in the next year. Maybe he's also mentioning Virtual Console. Maybe it could be just more games. But yeah, overall, very good numbers for Nintendo, very good numbers for the Switch. Is doing better. Very good for a system that some people said it would have been dead on arrival at this point last year, because last year we were just 10 days after the announcement of the system. So yeah, thank you for watching. I've been The Legend of DS, and I'll see you guys next time.